Yeah, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
How are you, Abhishek?
I'm good, sir.
Okay, so how's your preparation going?
Sir, it's going, but I need to improve it further. Sir.
Okay,
Lots of things to work on.
a lot of things to work on. Okay, so let me see. So what to work on? Okay. Say apart from your DEF, what are the areas you're prepared on?
Sir, I did a read economic survey and budget.
Okay, and how about IR, international relations?
I'm following the current news, but I need to
Hmm.
specifically prepare some bilateral relations and some other things. But current affairs, I'm updated. So
You're keeping in tag of current affairs, right?
yes, sir.
Okay. So, okay, then let us go for the current issues which are happening around us, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Okay, right. To start with, so let us start with Delhi. Okay, right. Say, recently the Delhi elections has seen the coming back of BJP. So, what, according to you, right, has played a major role in the coming back of BJP?
Sir, anti-incumbency was a factor. The current reign was from the past 10 years. There was the recent years, past year, the municipality was not functioning as it was earlier. So there was increase in pollution in terms of solid waste and other pollutions, and the failure of government to rectify the air pollution. Also, in the last year, there was a more than usual monsoon, which led to urban flooding. So all these combinedly resulted in the change of government.
Say, where does the developmental politics stand in the politics of Delhi?
Yes, sir. Delhi, compared to other states, focuses more on development politics. People are more interested in the promises of the government in terms of free electricity and the uh, other mohalla clinics and all that. So also the government was unable to fulfill its promise on Yamuna and air pollution, and people voted against the government because of these failures.
Okay. So as I see from your answer, you are repeatedly talking about the air pollution and other things in Delhi.
Yes, sir.
Say, Delhi is a cosmo, like many cities in throughout the world. But you see, Tokyo, right, the Japanese city, has a very well-planned city management, though it is crowded, right? So high traffic and other pollution. But comparatively speaking, right, so Delhi is more polluted than these cities. What can Delhi learn from these cities?
Sir, Delhi's pollution stems from some unique factors which are not present in these cities. For example, the climatic factor, geographical factors, the neighboring states, all these are not present in other cities. But in terms of learning, the local government, I believe, are more efficient in the global cities like Tokyo, whereas in Delhi there is a lack of responsibility because there are multiple uh, institutions present like the municipality or the Delhi government or the central government. So the responsibility mapping is a little unclear between the administrators and citizens both. So this can be improved in Delhi, sir.
So, the former Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal blamed the center, saying that it is because the land is the subject of the central government and public order is subject of central government. So, we cannot take decisions. Do you think that these subjects need to be transferred to the state list, or will it be fine if it is maintained in the central list?
So this provision is only for Delhi, and Delhi being a house of the central government, where central government resides and administers. Some issues are necessary to be kept with central government as a union territory. So, I mean, this does create tensions between the two government, but responsibility should be clearly demarcated, and I think it should stay this way only because there are a lot of embassies present in Delhi
Hmm.
and all these things. So, these are
Oh.
the reasons, sir.
So, being a national capital territory, you see that this working arrangement is fine.
No, it should be improved, sir. There should not be disagreements or points of conflicts, but the state issues should stay with center.
Don't you think that the ruling party in the center, as well as the ruling party in Delhi, if they are one and the same, right? So this issue can better be resolved.
It does create a harmony between different entities, but this should not be the only way the efficient functioning should work. The system should be perfect. The system should be improved so that anyone, any different ideologies, even if they come, but the goal of serving the people of Delhi should be achieved despite of their different ideologies.
Okay. Say, what is exactly happening in the Yamuna issue? So can you enlighten me?
So Yamuna is drained by multiple drains in Delhi, for example, Najafgarh drain, and there are other. And the solution is sewage treatment plants (STPs), which are there in Delhi, but not enough. They need to be increased to stop the flow of the pollutants into Yamuna. And the drains come from different states, also Haryana, also that comes via Delhi. So, but overall solution is increasing STP, and the issue is industrial and domestic pollutant discharging in Yamuna through the drains.
Say, you might be aware of the gap, that is the Ganga Action Plan. And the observers say that it has really improved the quality of water in Ganga. So can such arrangements be, right, so made in YAP, that is the Yamuna Action Plan, right? So, and where does this Yamuna stand regarding this treatment and other cleaning activities?
Yes, sir. Overall, Yamuna Action Plan is for whole of Yamuna, sir. And there are lots of cities on Yamuna bank like Mathura and other cities. And yes, sir, that needs to be applied. And Delhi specifically, being the national capital, there's more focus should be there.
Okay. Say, wherever the population is more or high density area, there comes a river problem. Okay, right. So what can India do in future to manage such problems?
Sir, are you talking about overcrowded cities or
Overcrowded
specific?
cities and the health of the rivers flowing through the cities.
Yes, sir. Sir, the primary solution lies in strengthening of the local bodies. We, if they are the primary body responsible for civic issues, and we need to strengthen them all over India. For example, in Indore. Indore came out as the cleanest city of India for continuous years, or in Surat, we were able to achieve good results because the MCD took action. They were enforced and they were strengthened by better financing. So we need to strengthen our local bodies.
Okay, so you talk about institutional mechanisms as well as the legal mechanisms, right? What do you have to say about the technology, right? The role of technology in maintaining this purity of rivers?
Yes, yes. So technology is the solution for for example, we can improve the treatment plants, or we can have the norms for industrial effluents for the treatment of the chemical waste, so that we can convert it into non-harmful discharge. So technology will come in there. Also, it can come in there in monitoring the river waters, or we can also monitor the gaps in implementation. For example, from what are the other sources of discharge into the rivers? Yes, sir.
So, a general question, right? So, how does the river quality or the water, quality of water is being measured?
So there are some parameters like oxygen, BOD, biological oxygen demand in the river. So that tells the health of the river. That amount also the concentration of other chemicals. We can also determine the health of the river.
Okay. Any other specific reasons why these rivers?
Sorry, sir.
Any other specific reasons why these rivers are so polluted when comparing the South Indian rivers?
Sir, overpopulation is one of the reasons. There are too much of population pressure on these regions. Yes, I think that.
Okay. So there are some other reasons also. Okay, the Himalayan rivers are different, and they have been flowing here for a very long time, right? So from the Gangetic civilization. Okay, there it is not planned. The cities, right? So just spawn around. So they don't. They come in and developed or a planned way. So that's the main reason. Say these are ancient cities, right? So which have been, and these rivers have been exploited for a very long time, and there needs to be some point so where they should be harnessed and their exploitation should be in such a way that it be sustainable. So you deal it in an environmental front. Okay, right? So then you can find answers. Right. Then you said visiting new places, experiencing new places. Okay, right?
Yes, sir.
Tell me one place you recently visited which gave you a new experience.
Sir, in past year, I have visited many places, prominently Pondicherry, Munnar, Chikmagalur. So, yes, sir.
A specific one place,
Pondicherry. I
Pondicherry.
visited
So, what is the
Pondicherry.
new experience you got there?
Sir, there I visited an old ancient port which used to trade with Romans. So I found that that was I haven't studied about it earlier. Later, I discovered it in textbooks also. But the state of the artifacts was not very good. It was not very well preserved, not very well popularized. So that was a new experience for me that we need to uh, promote these sites for tourism. So
Okay. So now we have seen that recently our Prime Minister was visiting France as well as US. Okay, right? Say the French has many things to offer to India. So what do you
yes,
think, right? So what France has more to offer to India, and what can we, right? So take from France.
so I believe France is very empathetic to the Indian rise, and they have been supportive. The reaction was less severe when we conducted a nuclear test, and even after that. So France offers us a, a great domestic, sorry, defense imports. We can have our rely on French for the import. For example, we purchased the Rafale aircraft recently. Then France also is one of our allies in the emerging multipolar world. So they can help us get into the reform the United Nations Security Council and all these reforms. They can be a reliable partner there. Uh, Also, our collaboration with EU, France can help us there. So
Okay. Say on the contrary, when Modi visited US, right, apart from the military offerings and other things, the issue of illegal immigration was raised. Do you think that the immigrants really have to be handcuffed and brought to India? So, what do you have to say about it?
so like our external affairs minister Ajay said in parliament also that this is a practice that has been going on for many years, that illegal migrants do get deported back, and we ourselves faced issues of illegal immigrants from Bangladesh and Myanmar as well. So we do support the deportation, and we accept our deportees, but the manner should not be such harsh. If there is no need for handcuff, there should not be handcuffs. And but we do support to curb the illegal migration from both from India and in India.
So, what are the reasons, right? So, the immigration happens, and particularly from relatively wealthy states like Haryana, Punjab, and Gujarat, right? So, they already so forward comparing to other backward states, right? But still, immigration happens from this, right? So, prosperous states. So, it doesn't it bring a paradox?
Sir, we can find a reason, sir, if for state like Punjab, Haryana, or Gujarat already have their relatives or someone they know in outside, and they see that the standard of living is comparatively better for the same job that they're doing. So that do create them a desire to migrate to such countries. So
Okay.
even though they are advanced, but they see examples in their relations.
Okay. Say, the welcome to our Prime Minister was warm in US. And of course, so Trump is offering us a lot of help, particularly in tackling China. So do you think that does China needs to be tackled by aligning with US?
Not in a direct way, sir. Trump offered to mediate, but we have a stand that will keep our bilateral relationships and issues between them among the two countries. That's our issue. That's our stance in both in terms of case of Pakistan and also in China. But that said, US can be very, and our partnership can be very helpful in promoting the world order, the rule-based world international affairs in South China Sea or in the overall Indo-Pacific region. So our alliance is very much required to contain China and promote the world harmony.
Say there is an right so axis emerging. So Delhi, Tel Aviv, Washington. And there is another axis, Delhi, Beijing, and Moscow. So which axis will serve the India's interest best?
Sir, we don't need to take any one stand, or in the world order has changed a lot from the past last 100 years, past 50 years, where the allies were very strong and they used to collaborate on all aspects. But current world order is different. We take sides of we take form different alliances with different people on specific issues. So that said, both of the alliances will be very useful to India on multiple issues, on different kinds of issues. For we can counter the West hegemony by the India, Beijing, and Moscow alliance, and also promote the business and overall trade security by the India, Tel Aviv, and US. For example, the I2U2 platform and other such.
But, right, so if we are friendly with China, we can avoid a major confrontation with a big neighbor. So, and that will be helping in making India a part of the 21st century. So, what do you say about it?
Yes, sir, we need to resolve our border issues with China in a very peaceful manner. Uh, but we have to be wary of China because it has not been very trustful in the past. But we should utilize the current standings in the world. Uh, for example, the last BRICS summit was very successful for us. For example, China initiated the dialogues for resolving the recent conflict to come to some disengagement in the area. So we can utilize such platform for a peaceful navigation of the scenarios. But we need to be always wary, and we need to trust but also verify the Chinese actions.
Coming to China, of course, Russia is a mutual friend of both China and India. Whereas US is a friend of India, but a rival of China. In terms of coming to mediation for India-China problem, do you think Russia will have more leverage or US will have more leverage?
Sir, we'll keep our relations bilateral among the two countries, but given the options of Russia and China, I believe Russia will be more in a better position to mediate, because China is already very there a trade war going between China and USA, so USA won't be a very reliable party in resolving the issues.
Okay. So now, in France, the AI summit has been held,
Yes.
where US and UK rejected this consensus. So, what is the rationale behind that?
So US and UK believe that any kind of regulations will hamper the growing industry of AI, which needs to, which needs, which is in its developing stage, and want should be given full space to grow itself and not be bound by regulations.
Okay. But India, so of course, so we are also developing software giant, but we accepted the deal. So, what is the rationale behind that?
Sorry, sir.
Say, but India, which is also a software giant, right? So accepted the AI deal. Okay, right? So why India accepted? So if US and UK are talking about, right, so the limitations, then India is definitely aware of that. But we accepted the deal. Why?
Sir, we believe that the development of AI should be in a manner which is inclusive, free from biases, and that needs to be uh, ensured from the developing stage only. For example, Prime Minister Modi highlighted that the limitations of ChatGPT in terms of drawing a left-handed person or in clocks. So these biases are there, and we need to tackle them from the beginning. So we believe in a responsible AI, responsible, safe, and inclusive AI.
But China is already ahead of the race, but it's deep sea. But India has allotted a nominal amount of only 500 crores. So does it serve the purpose?
India has
Only allotted 500 crores for in this budget. Okay, right? Does this nominal amount, right? So will serve the purpose of AI future in India?
Sir, we need to carefully evaluate the path we are going to take. There are debates on whether we should have a foundational AI like DeepSeek or ChatGPT developed in India, which is very costly, and we have other priorities. So we need to ration our amount. So I believe the allocation should increase from that amount, and but we need to be very careful in our policy. That, but we need to utilize the best. For example, we were very rational and very frugal in our space missions, so we can adopt a similar approach. Uh, the DeepSeek did provide us a way insight into that. DeepSeek was developed very cheaply, so we should always be look out for these opportunities. Also, but there are other avenues in AI, not in developing the models, but in utilizing them, where our human resource can be very useful, and we can lead the sector there.
Say, when there is a lot of scope for open sources, right? Why the countries are insisting having their own AI?
Open source models do benefit us a lot, and then we can replicate them as well, like many did. But having our own AI gives us a headway into the future development, develop the capabilities, or uh, clears the path for future development. So create the necessary resource in terms of the human development or the GPUs, the utilizations. So.
Okay, so the Indian government was also talking about the cultural context in which the AI is going to evolve in India. Do you think that in the age of globalization, right? So the culture is going to have a role in it.
Yes, sir. Culture, even with this state of globalization, culture plays a very major role in the society, and definitely it will play a role in AI also. So,
So how can you illustrate?
I mean, it could result in making AI more inclusive. For example, if it developed by the developers of one culture and from other culture, there will be seen differences in the biases of the AI.
Okay. So now, in the recent budget, so some people say that it benefits the middle class by giving tax exemptions up to 12 lakhs. Do you think that the tax exemptions are really going to help the people?
Yes, sir. I believe the current tax relief will result in a loss of 1 lakh crore revenue for the government, which is equivalent to the infusion of 1 lakh crore in the market of India, which is going to have its impact on the consumption or on investments. In both way, it's going to help India, whether in infrastructure growth or in the uh, industry, the consumption industry.
Say, one side, the government is talking about increasing the tax net. But there is a trend that for a very long time, the tax net is around only 1.5% of the population. So, what can be done to increase the tax net?
Sir, digital penetration can help in this a lot. So our current tax net limited to only 8 crore people, of which very few people pay actual taxes, can be increased with more stringent digital infrastructure, where we make use of that to track the people, and to include them in the make the system more smoother and easier to use, and so that everyone can be onboarded into it, and slowly they will be encouraged to pay taxes. Also, we should introduce this as a fundamental duty as well, sir.
Don't you think some regulatory mechanism should be in place, right? So, to regulate this tax structure.
Tax structure,
Yeah.
sir, I believe it's not a matter of regulation, but finance ministry can handle it itself, sir. I don't believe a reason for having a separate entity to manage it.
So, but when there is a problem, whenever there is a problem, the government always go with a regulatory mechanism, right? But it is not possible in the case of tax pay. In GST, we have though not a regulatory mechanism, but we do have a GST council. Okay. So, which promotes open dialogue between the state and the center. But in the case of income tax, I quite feel that IT and the ED, right? So, they are having an upper hand over the other states, right? So, do you think that it has been politicized? The ED has been politicized?
Yes, sir. There have been allegations of politicization of ED, the selective targeting of opposition members. So there can be some cases of politicization of ED.
Okay. So does right? It brings good for the democracy or cooperative federalism. What can be done to limit their powers?
Uh, Sir, it can impact the harmony between the opposition. It can won't be very good for. But that said, ED it's not like it is not acting on false cases. It's just the cases are selectively for the opposition. So this needs to be improved in the independent functioning of ED for the independent appointment of such
Hmm.
institutions.
So that demands a change in the laws and regulations, right? So even giving constitutional status to such bodies. Okay, right? So they are now simply a statutory body, and not
Yes.
even by a statute, but a executive declaration, we can say. So that needs to be regulated. Okay, right? So just go more on that. So because last week a question was asked about ED to one of my students. Okay, right? Where they're going into all about ED, right? Why they are doing so, and finally he said, okay, right? Yes, sir, it needs to be done. How? By giving an independent mechanism, like how the High Court judges are being selected, like how the election commissions have been selected. So something like they are looking for an answer, something like that. Okay, right?
Mhm.
And so
Sir,
coming
I
to
felt that my answer was political in this way. Should I say that it is
you should
politicized?
come elaborate. The one thing I think I realized here is that right, you have an answer for all the questions, but
Mhm.
the answers are very short. You need to build up a conversation. Okay, right? Where you should stop only when I say you should stop. Okay, I am moving to the next question, right? You should sense that. You are abruptly ending that. Okay, right? So
I
which
felt
means,
that if I say more, it will be a
no,
bad
not
answer. It
saying
will turn
more.
into a bad
You should be
answer.
adding more points. Not saying more, you should
I
adding
had
more,
in few
adding
of the
more
answers, I
points.
had another point, but I felt that if I say them,
But you can
it
always
would
say that.
create.
Okay, right? So I was looking for it. Okay, you can always
Yes.
say that, right? So unless and until you are asked to stop, right? So just continue. Okay. Right. Now, say Manipur, it's been burning for a very long time, and say we cannot simply dismiss as it as an ethnic conflict. Okay, there is much more to right. So go beyond it. Okay, right. So what exactly is happening in Manipur?
Sir, it's a historical matter. It's a historical issue that has been going that flares up from time to time, and the problem is the limited resource, more people, right, and the aspirations of different communities, and so when the High Court suggested to grant ST status to Meitei community, Kuki Zo community felt that this will impact their opportunities. Hence, the violence started, and we have not been very successful in containing them or even getting a consensus in choosing the next chief minister. Hence, the president rule is imposed.
Say, this means that the time has come to take a look or review of the schedules as well as a review of the reservation policy in India. So, what do you think about that?
Yes, there has been demand by many people about the review of the reservation policies, and that's why a lot of states are going for caste census in different states. For example, in Telangana, uh, but we should approach this matter very sensitively because it has various downsides as well. For example, the politicization of caste issues, or it might create a disharmony in the society. So we need to tackle this very carefully, and the topic of review of the schedules or the reservation needs to be very clearly communicated about its scope, because we have seen whenever such issues there are protests, wide scale protests erupts in countries simultaneously. So we need to be very careful in addressing this issue, sir.
Okay. Say, in the recent budget, some around 225 lakh crores has been allotted to the social sector development, particularly rural sector development. Okay. So, despite budgetary allocations, the rural development somewhere lags in India. So, what are the reasons? What might be the reasons which hampers the rural development?
Sir, recently we it also depends on the local government again, sir. For example, in my village, and in my district, which is an aspirational district, we rank second among the SDGs. So we overall we are doing good in terms of rural development. But and all the policies were also implemented, but some policies were implemented better than others. We had a drainage system, which was implemented good. We had the Har Ghar Nal, for example, the water tap supply to every household. We got that supply, but the availability of water varies from village to village. Uh, because of depending on the functioning of panchayats in different villages. So I believe the strengthening of the better executive control and the better development of panchayat, and in them realizing their powers and executing them efficiently has to do with the implementation of the rural development. So.
Okay. Say, among the rural schemes, not only rural, but also in urban areas, one social sector scheme was highly successful. So, which India has never seen in its year of independence. So, the Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Scheme. Can it be replicated in other schemes too?
Yes, so there were various takeaways from this scheme, which can be applied. For example, the social audits of Manrega, or the framework that we had for the people. These takeaways should be applied to the other schemes as well, sir.
Okay. Say, one thing the problem is about is the last mile delivery. Okay, right? Say, with the age of technology and like digital tracking and electronic tagging, the last mile delivery can be improved. But still, right? So, why India is lacking in last mile delivery?
So we have improved a lot in this. The uh, the disbursement of food to 80 crore Indians say that we are somewhat achieving the last mile delivery, but there still are gaps. We have some of the very remote areas and our other challenges. The implementation of Pradhan Mantri Gram Sadak Yojana Part 2 can be very useful in achieving this last mile delivery. So yes, so these by implementation of these policies, we can improve our last mile delivery, sir, or also the technology. The common service centers, the penetration have increased. We need to strengthen them and increase their coverage further to improve the last mile delivery.
Okay. Say, the American president has come with, right? So the concept of MEGA. So like, right? So making so mega, that is America, MAGA, great again. And our Modi says MEGA. So making India great again. So if America is going to make America great again, India is going to, right? So make India great again, right? So will it not lead to some national, like we say, thumb chesting, right? So will it not lead to hyper nationalism, something like that, which will disturb the regional peace, whether it is America or India, or the global peace. So what is your take on it?
So the nationalism of India is a bit of a different nature. Sir, we have always tried to be a responsible party in our neighborhood, extended neighborhood, the Indian Ocean region, everywhere, and we speak for the global South as well. So we need to promote this healthier version of competition, this healthier version of cooperation, uh, all over world. So, but that's it. The we'll have increasing conflict. For example, the tariff situation now between India and US, which we are trying to resolve, or even in among countries, can ultimately affect the business among the countries or lead to reduction in the trade. So we need to uh, make the such nationalism in a very constructive way, like Prime Minister Modi tried to do. MAGA and MEGA, he tried to make it mega partnership. So we need to come with versions which are healthier for the environment, healthier for the region.
Okay, Abhishek. So today we interacted for 40 minutes. Okay. So I think this interaction was better than the previous interaction which we had, where we are not prepared. Okay, right? So you are preparing. And of course, you're prepared. Okay. And one thing I see is that you're more confident than before. But still, right? What I suggest you is to come with illustrations. Like you said, in my district, you said one thing. That was quite impressive and was more convincing than other things, for which you have answers. But I'm not sure about the answers, or I'm not feeling confident about it. So what I suggest you is that to come with illustrations in all the cases, so that what the interviewer will feel is that this guy has felt the question and he's understood the question and come with a proper explanation. Illustration need not be always from your home ground. It may be with some incidents. So like for example, this incidents. Okay, right? If I talk about social sector spending, then you can refer any district or some of the case stories. It says that this has improved a lot. Similarly, when I talk about bilateral relations, this has helped particularly in this front. So the trade has improved. It has increased from 80 billion to 100 billion. So something like that. Quantification. I'm asking for some quantification, right? If you'll be coming with this, that will be better. Instead of monotonous speaking, you come with facts and figures. So that will help you. Okay, right? So that's the one thing I can say. Okay, so you have improved a lot. And of course, it's a better conversation, but still there's quite a lot of space to improvement. Okay, right? So particularly in the way you put your answers. Okay, so where I need to say one thing that right choice of words. Where go for technical words, right? Try to get the essence, try to compress the words and come with something like relevant things. Like when you're going for budgets, so you come with what are the terms used in the budget, what are schemes, what are the things, institutions, and other things. And in coming for international relations, we hear national interest, pragmatic policy. Okay, right? So something. So which will better serve the strategic autonomy. So these are all the technical terms. Okay. Then coming plain, of course, what you said is right, but it will be more impressive if you go for the right choice of. This is what I can say. Okay, right? So you have improved a lot, and definitely I can say that you have quite a good knowledge about particularly the budget and international relations, except for the right choice of words. Of course, your knowledge is right, so fair, I can say, right? But in coming to the daily and other issues, you need to prepare, particularly the environmental angle. And also, since you are an IITN, right, the board will be expecting more from you. Say, because you are coming from precious institution, or the government has spent a lot of money on you. Okay, right? How come you're going to justify that, right? Say, you are going to leave this IIT career for the sake of becoming a civil servant. Okay, right? That means, right, so the government has to forego the amount it has spent on you. And again, you're going to spend on Labasna. Okay, right? And you have to justify that, right? So you are not like an ordinary graduate. So that means, right, so come hard. Okay, right? So of course, quite a lot of time, in 1 month to go. So still you can work wonders, I can say, right? So we'll go for one more session, a general session, right? So including social issues, national issues, IR, right? So and afford your deaf. So it may be from any front, 360 degrees you can go, right? You prepare for that. Okay, right? So when can we have it?
Sir, around the 28th weekend.
Okay, right. So the month end.
Yes, sir. Month
Okay,
end.
I'll ask my people to put a word, right? So schedule and we'll go for it. Okay, right? Abhishek, of course, we have improved and there's a lot of scope for improvement. You can you can do better. Okay, right? Work on it.
Thank you very much, sir.
There is still, I can say, a scope of improvement of more than 30 marks. Okay, you can do that. Okay, Abhishek. Thank you.
Very much.
Thank you.